Okay, I came here to tell all of you that Nathan Fillion would play the perfect young Han Solo. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Film Feast. My name is Sam Donchis and I'm your host, and on this episode of the Film Feast I will be talking about the directors chosen to helm the next Star Wars anthology film. Almost a year ago I brought you a story about two directors hired by Disney to direct two separate Star Wars films. These would be anthology films, spin-offs from the main Star Wars storyline that we all know so well. The first director was Gareth Edwards. He was hired to direct what is now known as Rogue One. Everything I've heard about this movie just makes me a happy Star Wars nerd. And the second director was Josh Trank. No one knew what his movie would be about. And leading up to Disney's big Star Wars event in April, Gareth Edwards and Josh Trank were said to have a big panel that they were hosting. Gareth Edwards at this panel revealed Rogue One. Josh Trank was a no-show. The early word was that he got sick. Not too long after, it was announced that he departed the project, although a lot of people are saying that Disney straight up fired him. What the real story is, doesn't concern me at all. I'm here to talk about the directors who replaced Josh Trank and what the movie they will be directing is about. There was talk of a Boba Fett movie, or a Yoda movie, or a young Han Solo movie. It's door number 3, it's a young Han Solo movie. Yes! Okay, I'll backtrack. A movie about a young Han Solo doesn't really interest me at all. In the wrong hands. As much as I enjoyed Chronicle, Josh Trank is still an unproven director, and until Fantastic Four comes out, the verdict is still out on him. But the guys who will be directing this Han Solo origin movie have my backing 110%. Phil Lord and Chris Miller. Let's start right off with where you may know these directors from best. There's a good chance that you've seen their hit animated film from 2009, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. That film got a sequel that was written by them. They also directed and wrote the Lego Movie, which was, in my opinion, one of their biggest challenges placed in front of them and also one of their greatest successes. And they also directed 21 and 22 Jump Street. Some of you may also know Lord and Miller from their MTV series, Clone High, from the early 2000s. They also wrote and directed the first 2 episodes of Fox's new show, The Last Man on Earth. So with all that evidence laid out in front of you, I hope you get a better idea of this duo's talent. Yes, they certainly lie more on the comedic side of things, which will factor into Han Solo's dialogue somewhat, but I just have to illustrate how tremendously creative these guys are, not just as directors, but also collaborators. For example, the Lego Movie. Definitely something that I was questioning at first. I knew that Lord and Miller were making it, and after seeing 21 Jump Street, I was sold, but I was still wondering, how are they gonna make a Lego movie? Legos are toys that are not held down by one single storyline, so how are they gonna take something so boundlessly imaginative and make it into a movie with a storyline? But they did it! And they accomplished that by taking that imagination angle and roping the hero's journey into that central conceit. Also, it should be noted that the road to Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs was pretty rocky. They were fired as the writers of the film and then rehired on a year later, only to almost be fired again when Amy Pascal, head of Sony Pictures, said, "This story just doesn't work." So they sat down and compromised, took notes, worked it into their film, and ended up making a very successful, heartfelt movie. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs was able to retain every ounce of creativity and humor that Lord and Miller were able to put out, but also worked with what Sony Pictures wanted. If that's not the definition of successful collaborators, I don't know what is. Phil Lord and Chris Miller were not announced as the official writers for this Han Solo movie, but I can only imagine that they are going to have a very heavy hand in the writing process. And with all that said, I genuinely believe that they will put together a fantastic collaboration with Disney and make a Han Solo movie that we actually can care about. So the next question is, who's gonna play young Han Solo? For anyone who believes that Nathan Fillion would play a great young Han Solo, I have what might be a tough pill for you to swallow. He's 44. Harrison Ford was 39 when they shot the original Star Wars in 76. It's not gonna work. There was also a petition put up saying that they should cast Anthony Gruber for the role. He played a younger version of Harrison Ford's character in Age of Adeline. I don't know, I haven't seen the movie, I can't judge that dude's talent, although I can say it's more than just looks. Personally, I don't have a favorites list. I trust that whoever they cast will be up to snuff, although, you know what, I'm just gonna say it. They should cast Zac Efron as young Han Solo. Ha! I'm mostly joking, but I mean, he was pretty good in Neighbors, and he had tons of charisma in that role. And that's one of the biggest things that Han Solo requires is charisma. Sure, he may not have much dramatic acting under his belt, save for Mia Orson Welles, Charlie St. Cloud, Parkland, and some other ones peppered out through his career, but honestly, I don't feel like we should be asking that much from an actor for the role of Han Solo besides charisma and a good sense of humor. Again, I'm mostly joking, so please don't dislike this video. I want to know what you guys think. Who do you think should play the young Han Solo? Maybe Chris Pratt, or this person, or that person? I don't know, fill in the blanks for me, let me know. Also, do you think Lord and Miller have what it takes to direct this Han Solo movie? Clearly Disney does, and I do too. Let me know in the comments below. And if you haven't subscribed to The Film Feast, please consider joining the community. If you like the content on this channel, give this video a like, and also check out my other videos. Like The Film Feast on Facebook if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter at The Film Feast if you want to get little mini thoughts from me. And then I have a Letterboxd page where I post little mini reviews of all the movies that I watched. I recently watched The Terminator and Terminator 2 Judgment Day for the first time ever, and I know that's insane. But you can read my thoughts on those movies on my Letterboxd, as well as the first 2 James Bond films. Speaking of which, I am getting very close to putting out my first video in a new series, The Film Feast Watches 007. I will be talking about all of the James Bond movies, most of which I'm watching for the first time ever. I'm going to start off with the Sean Connery movies and then just go down the line. This will of course ultimately culminate in me talking about Daniel Craig's run as the character with my mini review of Spectre included. That's the goal at least. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Now, going back to Spielberg's vision, whenever he first conceptualized this Jurassic Park sequel, he thought of 3 main themes that would work into the movie's main storyline. An open, working park that sees thousands of visitors every day, a guy who trains velociraptors, and a genetically modified dinosaur. Now, any sensible moviegoer hears those 3 things and thinks to themselves, you could probably make one movie out of each of those themes. But no, this is 2015. They have to make a movie about all of these things. Tom Holland is only 19 years old, and he is the youngest actor selected to play Peter Parker to date. The thing that excites me the most about Holland is the same thing that excited me about Andrew Garfield when he got the role a few years ago. These guys really want to play this character. You can go seek out his personal Instagram account and actually watch videos of him doing flips and stunts and acrobatics, stuff that Andrew Garfield could never do, stuff that Tobey Maguire never even tried to do, and you can just tell that Tom Holland wants this role.